years ago.
Evil dies tonight.
Evil dies 40 years later.
40 years.
It's been 40 years.
Halloween dies.
Hello, everybody, and welcome again to Keystone Film Review. We just saw Halloween Ends, written by a bunch of people, directed by David Gordon Green, starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Kyle Richards. She's not in it very much. Annie Matichak, Will Patton. That's just boobs. Her picture's just boobs.
There's some tatas.
Stephanie McIntyre. It's not. I'm sure if I open it, it's more of a... No, it's not. Okay, there we go. There we go. Bad formatting on that picture.
Their headshot was a cleavage shot.
Nick Castle, of course, and Rohan Campbell. This, of course, is the third installment in the David Gordon Green Halloween series, and is aptly named Halloween Ends. But does evil, in fact, die tonight 44 years later? Because it's 4 years after Halloween Kills.
Mm-hmm. We don't know.
If you saw a review last year for Halloween Kills, I don't want to speak for you, but I'm pretty sure I remember. We hated it. I hated it.
It was a clusterfuck.
It was a clusterfuck. And I honestly did not think a movie could be worse than Halloween Kills. Granted, I am not a Halloween fan. I have not seen any of the other Halloween movies other than the original, the Rob Zombie one and the David Gordon Green one. So I'm not an expert in Halloween. I'm sure there's worse ones, but that doesn't make Halloween Kills good, and that certainly doesn't make this good either. Because this was trash.
It was the Bupukaka. Yeah, this movie was goofy.
Yeah.
I was actually liking the way it was going the first like 10 minutes or so.
It was campy, but I would agree.
It was campy, you know, it was setting up something, and then the it's like volleyball. You set it up for somebody to spike it down, and they smack it right back in your face and spike it right in your face instead of, you know, over the net. No, I was really enjoying the way it was setting up, you know, this character of, you know, him doing some bad shit, you know,
on accident,
and, you know, the town of fucking mob mentality is like trying to find a new Michael Myers because the other one just disappeared, so they're like setting up all these, like, the new one. And I was liking the way that, you know, they kind of turned to this guy for him being a piece of shit for what he accidentally did. There was no quotations. He accidentally did it, but, you know, to anybody else's eyes, he didn't. But I was liking the way it was setting up because they were pointing to this monster and, like, him being this just genuinely innocent dude. And then they just kind of flopped it and turned him into something I didn't care for at all. Which I get why they did that.
Yeah.
It's an understandable reason why they traded that kid.
That's honestly the best part of that. The whole idea of people becoming the monsters people think they are. You know, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, if you will. Not so much from his side, but people treating him like he's a monster, so then he becomes a monster.
Yep.
That's not really a spoiler. It's very obvious that that's going to happen within the first 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And on paper, it is such a good idea, but like you said, it's not executed well at all.
I would have liked if he was fighting that, you know, that urge to go to, you know, to the dark side, to like prove people that he wasn't the things that people were saying that he was. I feel like that's what it felt like it was setting up for in a way.
I don't think it was.
It could have been both ways in my mind. It could have either been like they're setting him up to be this monster and he turns into it, or they're setting up him to be this monster and he tries to prove them wrong.
Well, you neglect one thing. That the script feels like it was written by a teenager in a Hot Topic.
So after that 15-minute mark, you start feeling like you're
Edgelord.
watching Spider-Man 3 when he's got that Venom suit on, but he's like partying, doing the whole fucking thing. It's edgy.
We're gonna throw some dirt in your eye.
Yeah, throw some dirt in your eye. It got to that campy level of just... It was weird, the first 15 minutes comparing to the rest of the movie, because it did just transition the fuck out of it.
Yeah, it was just weird tonally. Obviously, there's the romantic interest with Allison, I think her name is, Laurie Strode's granddaughter. And that part, again, this is why I feel like it felt like it was written by a edgy teenager and a Hot Topic, is because the relationship between them feels like a Bonnie and Clyde thing, but for the people who grew up on like My Chemical Romance and I'm not knocking My Chemical Romance, I have no problem with them, but like it was very like, oh, the world hates us, so let's just burn it down. And it's without any, opposition to that. It's just a mature writer would have put opposition to that. Yeah. And I'm not saying that the people who wrote it are immature. They're horror fans. I'm not a horror fan. I'm a horror casualist. Casual horror
As we
fan.
both are.
But it reeked of teenager, even though it wasn't written by a teenager. And honestly, it was funnier than it was scary.
There's a lot of chuckable, chuck your fucking laughter, chuckable moments.
Just say laughable.
No,
just say laughable.
I refuse to use the vocab the way it's intended. There's a lot of moments where you do just chuckle. There's so many goofy moments of just people getting hit or doing things in certain different ways, and you're just like, why the fuck did that happen in that way? Or just there's so many. This whole trilogy has been a lot of that, just like the way people act. And
except the first one was really good.
The first one was good,
and it's just been like cliff diving ever since.
I don't know. It's been goofy. I seldom expected more from this trilogy. The first one was solid. The second one, holy fuck, that mob mentality thing. I get like having the town, like a small town, like so curious about this one thing that they all start losing their shit and get caught up in it. But it became the story of the trilogy, and you don't care about the fucking town. You care about the guy running and stabbing people. I don't know.
Yeah. And the town is definitely the least interesting part.
Yeah.
Because all those people can leave.
And it was a core character in this trilogy, at least 2 and 3. And you didn't care. You didn't care about them at all. You cared about him going to the next neighborhood and stabbing somebody in the chest or whatever. Or I don't know.
The one thing I will say, a big thing nowadays is legacy sequels. The newest Scream is a legacy sequel, a relatively good one. Top Gun Maverick is a legacy sequel, where the new people kind of build up the old people build up the new people. Yeah. And this kind of felt like it was doing this for the Michael Myers character, and then completely just shredded that up. I'm not gonna say how, of course, but it is not a legacy sequel, and it kind of felt like it was making fun of legacy sequels in a way. But it is also, it's too much fan service with nods to the first one, which they've done every single one. Like, yes, I understand doing that for the first David Gordon Green Halloween. But do you need to reference the same scenes in Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends?
That person is spooky hiding behind a bush.
We get it. Yes. Laurie Strode lived through a traumatic experience. You don't need to keep showing it because we've seen it.
Also, Laurie was really only Laurie in like one scene in this movie. Yeah. And like the last two, like they set up this whole thing, the last 40 years she's been preparing for all this. And then this, she's kind of a little bit, understandably, again, kind of away from that.
She's trying to grow out of it.
And then, like, she has this one moment where, like, that last 40 years of training pops up, and then it immediately, she turns back into that dumbass new version of herself. Yeah. It was such a cool scene, too. The build-up for you. Like, she wouldn't do this. And then the thing happened. You're like, oh, that was bad. Oh, okay. She's dumb as shit.
Very dumb. A lot of people are dumb in this.
A lot of people.
It is just a mess of a movie. The editing, I know most people don't care about editing, but being an editor myself, it's something I notice, even when I try not to notice it. Editing is hot garbage, and is just clunky. It jumps from scene to scene without much smooth transitions. Not that every scene needs it, but like if you're gonna do a hard cut, make a reason for the hard cut. Granted, I've also been guilty of not transitioning things, but I'm also not a very well paid editor.
That's true.
I edit lawyer videos and then my own movies, and even sometimes I don't do that. But yeah, I'm still struggling if I dislike this more than Halloween Kills, but I definitely did not like it. But I had fun watching it because it was so stupid, and we laughed at it.
I think with Halloween Kills, there was a large level of annoyance through all the meme that is 40 years ago and Evil Dies Tonight. There's memes there, but that part was so fucking annoying. Besides that, the rest of the movie was decent from what I remember. Decent being the key word there, as much as it can be.
It felt better made.
This one felt like Spider-Man 3, but not as good. Somehow.
That's saying something. And I mean, even the crowd is a testament to that. When we saw Halloween Kills last year, the theater was packed in a higher pandemic, illness count than this year. And this year, there's maybe 6 other people in the theater. It wasn't that many.
There was maybe like 12.
Well, maybe 12 including us, but it was not.
At least 6 of them were a group of people with each other.
Yes, so. and last year it was probably about half, if not 75% full.
Yes.
So, that's just a testament to how much the first one sucked, is that people aren't rushing out to see this one or the second one, I guess, not the first one, because no one cares anymore.
I guess Evil did actually die that night.
Evil died tonight, and granted, that's just our theater, and we go to a relatively slow theater because we hate crowds.
Yeah.
And so for other theaters, that might be the opposite. There might be more people in those ones. But I personally feel that Halloween Kills killed some momentum for Michael Myers and the Halloween franchise. And then this one maybe ended it, as the title suggests.
Yeah.
But let's be honest, it's not going to end.
Yeah.
They're going to do something.
In 10 years, they're popping out another one.
I give it 4. 4 years.
4 years it's got to be somewhere in between then.
Yes.
But they're definitely going to be popping out another one.
Another reboot, another...
Which honestly is fine by me. Michael Myers is such like an iconic killer that I understand that they shouldn't just always pop him out, but he's so iconic that you can't just get rid of that. Especially for the horror franchise.
I would prefer new things.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
And also, most people don't see those new things, and they kind of get brushed under the table.
It's a shame, because they're better. But yeah, ratings, I'm honestly... I want you to go first. I don't want to influence your...
I didn't really think about it, to be honest.
Yeah? I looked up what my Halloween Kills
I don't remember what that
was.
is.
Mine was 1.5 for Halloween Kills. This, I'm going to go with a 1 out of 5.
That's pretty, I must say. That's pretty low.
It was just, like you said, you touched on earlier, it's just such a interesting concept that was executed horribly. Yeah, we're the same.
I also gave it a 1.5. That's crazy.
Not good.
It's not good. I feel like I gotta rewatch Halloween Kills. Because where this was, it was genuinely bad. I didn't have the most boring time. We had some laughs. The concept of it was...
I mean, we had laughs with Halloween Kills, too.
We did. I don't know. It's so goofy. It's hard to not rate the whole series as like a 2.5, maybe 2. Just because the Halloween, the first one, boosts that up big time. I don't know. I'm thinking 2. I have to rewatch Halloween Kills. I don't know if I want to give this one a 1.5. It's pretty low regardless. I don't care. Evil dies tonight. Evil dies tonight.
What did you think of Halloween Ends? Are you a fan of the Halloween franchise in general? And where do you think this stacks up compared to it? Because I know a lot of people said Halloween Kills is better than Halloween H2O or whatever the fuck. And I don't think that's a good excuse to say that a movie is okay because it's better than another movie.
Busta Rhymes didn't even kick anybody in this.
Busta Rhymes didn't kick a single spirit soul person within this film. Neither did I can't think of anyone. I don't know anyone else that's in the Halloween franchise.
Jamie Lee Curtis. There was
Rob Zombie didn't kick anyone.
Josh Hartnett.
Josh Hartnett? Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.